Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN, and welcome to the Lakers post-game show on ZSPN on YouTube. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Portland Trail Blazers tonight. Now, guys, before I get into the Lakers win against the Blazers tonight, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share my videos all over Facebook, Twitter, all the good social media stuff, and of course, like always, please be sure to like my page on Facebook, ZSPN, and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ZSPN. Much appreciated. So, guys, yeah, let's talk about this Lakers win. Finally, the Lakers get a win, breaking their three-game losing streak, which was on the road, which the Lakers play in the crypto.com arena, returning to LA and facing the Trailblazers tonight, and they come up with a win, and without LeBron James. And when it comes down to it, these are the type of wins that the Lakers need to get under their plate when it comes to not having a superstar on your team like LeBron James, who is out. So when it comes down to these type of matchups, I want the Lakers to win games like this, and they stepped up to the plate and won tonight against the Portland Trailblazers. And even though the Blazers, they were without Damian Lillard and, a couple of pieces that, could have potentially maybe changed things when it comes to the Lakers winning chances. But when it comes down to it, the Lakers stepped up and they came to play when it comes all said and done. And I was so impressed by some of the Lakers who stepped up out there tonight, and especially when it comes down to the first quarter. They had a big lead, but unfortunately the Lakers lost a huge advantage when it comes down to the second quarter. I believe at the end of it, they were up by 2 points, which it was not a good sign there. But then when it came down to the third quarter, the Lakers, they were basically going back and forth with the Trailblazers, even though they lost the lead a bit, but they gained that back when it came down to the fourth quarter. Some threes were made, especially from Carmelo Anthony, who had a great night against his former team, had 24 points, went 5 of 6 from the three, and I believe he had maybe 7 or 8 rebounds. So, Carmelo Anthony, he had a sensational night off the bench, and, we have to commend on the assist and the help from Dwight Howard, who also played very well off the bench. Had, I believe, 10 points, and I think he had like 7 rebounds out there tonight. So when it comes down to it, Dwight Howard, his help on the defensive side was sensational for the Lakers win out there tonight. We have to commend on his great performance out there tonight. And then, when it comes to the rest, I mean, THT, he had 5 points. But, he at one point was leading the Lakers in turnovers. But, Russell Westbrook came out of nowhere and gave us, I believe, 4 or 5 turnovers out there tonight. So when it comes down to it, I'm not trying to say that THT was a big game changer for the Lakers. But, in the fourth quarter, he did manage to shoot a 3 that kind of helped the Lakers boost their lead a bit. But other than that, he had 5 points, but, this is THT. And, guys, I'm just going to say this right now. THT is really showing that he was deserving of getting drafted in the second round. He's not showing like he's like a steal or anything like that. As of late for the Los Angeles Lakers, he hasn't been stepping up. And, the trade deadline is in 8 days by the time I upload this video. So it's just around the corner. I won't be surprised if he'll be traded at the trade deadline. I mean, I just have that feeling that he will be traded if somehow he doesn't turn things around for the Los Angeles Lakers by stepping up and, giving us what his contract is deserving when it comes to a great performer. So, but anyway, let's talk about the starting lineup. Okay, Anthony Davis out there tonight, dominated in a big way, had 30 points and had 15 rebounds. I mean, talk about a guy who came back from injury and just really starting to get his rhythm and starting to play the monstrous Anthony Davis performances that we all know and love. I mean, he played very well out there tonight, had 30 points and 15 rebounds, and, he just was sensational, especially when it came to the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter as well. We saw a bit of a defensive side of Anthony Davis as well. And it was just sensational to see that from a guy like him. And, this is Anthony Davis we're talking about, the champion. And, we need him more than ever because of, not having LeBron James. And he could be out for a lengthy period of time. I mean, there's still no timetable of when he will return, but there's some optimistic, you know, vibes when it comes to LeBron's return. He could potentially return, next week, but he's still dealing with a swelling in his right knee. So when it comes down to the potential return, it could be in a day-to-day type of scenario for LeBron, but anything could happen. I mean, there's a lot of things that could go down when it comes to changing the scope of when the timetable of LeBron James' return. But anything could happen. He could return in the next game, or he could return next week. I mean, this is LeBron James we're talking about. He's a competitor, and he loves to play the game of basketball. And this is LeBron. He will return to us very soon. So when it comes down to it, I want to see Anthony Davis dominate and step up to the plate for the Lakers when it comes to games like this. With the shorthanded LeBron, it's just these type of matchups. I want the Lakers, as I said from the beginning, win these type of matchups, and it's just great to see the Lakers winning games like this. So great job out there for AD. And then when you look at the rest of the starting lineups, I mean, Avery Bradley had 11 points, but he did score very well out there, and especially on the defensive side, we saw a bit of a defensive effort from Avery Bradley. I believe he went 3 of 6 from the three. So, when it comes down to it, his shooting efforts was needed. And, the Lakers led the game tonight in shooting. So, when it comes down to it, the shooting efforts from Carmelo Anthony and Avery Bradley was just sensational on their part. Avery Bradley had, 11 points. And guys, since the Lakers brought him back in the off season, and just a couple of days into the regular season, he was just sensational for the Lakers as of late. And it was the right move that the Lakers brought him in, and with his defensive skill set, it's just a great decision by the Lakers to bring him back. And he's been sensational ever since. And maybe he will stay long term, but you never know what would happen in the off season. But he had a great night, helping us out in the defensive side, and surprisingly at the shooting. So great job out there for Avery Bradley. And then Russell Westbrook, I have to say he had only 9 points, but he gave us 10 rebounds and 13 assists. I mean, he was in that sort of sense, he really helped the Lakers in that particular area when it comes to being a playmaker and playing defensively. But when it comes down to it, he only gave us 9 points, and that's not the type of performance that I want to see from Russell Westbrook moving forward. Because when it comes to easier matchups like the Portland Trailblazers, they need to step up into the plate when it comes all said and done, as I mentioned. So, Russell Westbrook scoring was not there out there tonight, but rebounding and the assists was there, and he really helped out the Lakers in that particular area. But hopefully he could change things around and start scoring for us. With LeBron being out, the combination of Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook will be could win us some games, but still remains to be seen about that. So, but other than that, guys, the Lakers, they just had to go out there and win this game for us. It was just much needed, And when it comes down to it, they broke their 3-game losing streak, and I believe now with this they have 25 wins and 27 losses under their plate. So moving forward, with the trade deadline approaches, things could change. You never know. The Lakers could pursue someone that will be a much needed help, or they could just, I don't know, get some assets and put a package together and get somebody that will be a game changer for the Lakers. But as it stands now, it still remains to be seen of what the Lakers will do to improve the team. They could just leave the team the way as it is and just don't make any moves. I mean, that's what the Lakers did last season. Even though there's some criticisms, maybe the Lakers, if they traded for Kyle Lowry with the Toronto Raptors, maybe things would have been much differently when it comes to the sense of how he is playing very well with the Miami Heat. So I don't know, maybe things would have been different, but as it stands now, it still remains to be seen what the Lakers will do to change his team around. But there's probably something out there that the Lakers will do that will be a potential game changer for the Lakers. But still remains to be seen about that, and we just have to wait and see, guys. So, but other than that, the Lakers had a great game. I have to say they really stepped up to the plate and won this game against the Portland Trailblazers, and Carmelo Anthony just let it up against his former team with 24 points, went 5-6 from the three, and had 8 rebounds. So that's the Carmelo Anthony we all know and love. And these type of matchups where we see him give us big numbers is just something special to watch. And hopefully Carmelo and the rest of the team really step up to the plate moving forward when it comes to facing certain matchups. And I just really can't wait to see this Lakers team, really turn things around and hopefully start winning us games, possibly maybe after the All-Star break. That's where most Laker fans are expecting the Lakers to turn things around, but you never know. Still remains to be seen about that. And, maybe after the trade deadline with maybe new additions, or maybe the Lakers will have a change of heart and just start winning games. It's just still up in the air, and we just have to wait and see about that, guys. So please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel. Please give me your thoughts about the Lakers win against the Portland Trailblazers tonight, and also give me your thoughts. Do you think the Lakers will make a move at the trade deadline? I think they will, but I won't be surprised if they don't, because there's not a lot of news lately when it comes to the Lakers having certain interests in certain players. That's why I think maybe the buyout market will be the better shot for the Lakers when it comes to finding someone that will be a huge help. Same what they did a couple of years ago when they acquired from the buyout market from Markieff Morris. And when it comes down to it, last season with them buying out what's his name, Andre Drummond, even though didn't really last at the end of the day. But those certain players that really helped out the Lakers at times. But we just have to wait and see who will be available. But in that sort of instance, but you never know. The Lakers may look at the trade deadline and make some moves, but we just have to wait and see about that. So guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, and please make sure to like all of my social media sites: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter @ZSPN. I'll leave the links to those in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, guys, subscribe to the channel and subscribe to my podcast, ZSPN, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public. I really do appreciate the love support you guys give me on my podcast. It's basically the same content that I give on YouTube, only you can listen to me on the go. And I really do appreciate the love support there. And of course, all across social media, and most importantly, on this channel, ZSPN on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you will know when I upload on this channel. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.